Today we're going to replace the brake pads on a 2017 Mitsubishi G4 sedan. Now the first thing, we'll go ahead and get our floor jack in place. We'll sit our tire to the side. Now I'm going to turn the wheel. We're doing the front driver's side first. So I'm doing the front driver's side first. So what I did was put the keys in the ignition, turn the steering wheel all the way to the left. That way we can easily access our brake system. We'll need a 14 millimeter socket for the bolts here. And I have, which seems to work pretty well, this ratchet that extends out to give us some torque. Sometimes these can be kind of a pain to get off. There's one. See, it's kind of dry as far as grease goes. There we go. All right. Now, we kind of want to hang this, because you don't want this to hang from that brake hose. And let's go ahead and get our other little boot off here because we'll lose it. Okay. Now, kind of pry it up. Get a hold of it here. There we go. All right. And you'll see it's got two little buttons here that go on the inside, so you need to kind of pull out and up, because there's on the back side of here, if I can, you'll see there's two holes that those go into. And on here, there's like a tab, and you just pull that out, and there's a tab down here. You just pull this out and lift up, and there's a pretty good amount of pad left on there, but again, I don't know how good these factory brakes are. The rotors seem nice and smooth. There's no gouges or anything. So, all right, and what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to push that piston in. So what we'll want to do is we're going to want to push this piston in. So basically, I'm just going to put the old brake pad in here, and we'll use that to push that piston down. See, it's going down there. That'll give us the room we need to work. Now it's flush. Take that out. These, you can get these at like Harbor Freight, AutoZone. They're not expensive, less than $10. Let's take a look at our new Duralast Max brake pads. This is DGC 1731, and these are the highest end brake pads. They come with a lifetime warranty, so lifetime replacement warranty. So if anything ever happens to them, you just take them back to, this is an AutoZone item, and take them back to AutoZone and they'll swap them out. Probably what the best thing to do is, whenever you need to replace your brake pads again, buy another set and then swap them out, and then take the old set back and either get a refund or get another set, so you'll have them for next time, and that way you know, can just swap them out like that. And they come in some pretty nice packaging here. All right, we got some grease, various clips, this is the backside pad. Remember, it had the little tab on it, and it's wider. And this is our front pad here. All right, so so they're going to look like this, and driver's side, we want the tab to be on the right. And that's, just compare it to what you're taking off. So this will be our mate, and this is the one we took off here. And The front unit seems to be identical, so it really doesn't matter which one we use there. The clips and everything are the same. So we'll just choose one of those. So we'll just kind of clean this up a little bit. Now what we got here is our clips that go in the back side here, and they just kind of slide out, and it goes on the back side here, and those should be replaced when you're replacing the pads. All right, so again, the easiest thing to do is just swap out what you've taken off. So here's the old clip, and you can kind of see that it's stretched out, discolored. So we're going to replace it with this new clip here. Snap in. There's also one at the top as well, and you can see that that's discolored, bent. So we're just going to do a swap here. Now I'll go ahead and install the rear pad, which again is the one with the tab on it, and I'll go ahead and use their grease since it comes in a little nice little packet here, so I can squirt it out in moderation. And what you should do is, this is going to go in like this, and I like to put a little grease on these tabs, because these are going to be moving inside that clip. So you can just kind of take your grease and coat that tab there with it. A little thin coat will do. There you go. Alright. And same thing on this side. And just a nice little thin coat all around that tab. There we go. Alright. And then this one will just go in like this. That one's in. Now, we'll go ahead and do the front. Do here is the same thing. We're going to grease up our edges here. And, oops, got the wrong pad. We're not going to grease up the edges because this is just going to snap on like so. Alright, actually it's going to go like this. So, and this one has no movement. This is a fixed pad, and this is the one that moves, so it presses against here, and that piston pushes against this pad, and then pushes the rotor into this pad, which causes the rotor to stop spinning. So this is a fixed pad, so there's no grease necessary here. Everything everything's flush. Now we can stick this back on, and because we used our spreader and pushed that piston back, we have nice work room to be able to do what we need to do here. If you recall, they were kind of dry. First thing we need to do is put back on our little rubber cover here, and that you'll have a long end and a short end. The long end goes towards the rotor and just snaps on like that. Long end, short end, and there you'll see a little nipple that just slides on. I just take them off. So we'll take our bolt and we'll get some grease on it here. Because this bolt does in fact have movement. So it's good to go ahead and re-grease that. Then just kind of get everything lined back up. There we go. And it's easier going in because we have these bolts aren't so difficult to put back in because we're lubing them up before we put them in, where before when we took them out they were real dry. And this is just high temp grease from Walmart, like $3. And then of course we have our brake clean. I think that's a few dollars at Walmart as well. Slide in nice. Now, and I'm no mechanic. I've only worked on a few cars in my life to do simple, inexpensive things like this that I can do myself. I've replaced rotors, brake pads. I replaced the wheel bearing once. So sensors and things like that. I mean, these pads are like 60 bucks, I think, at AutoZone, and it literally takes, you know, I'm giving you commentary here, but you could probably do this in an hour, maybe two max, but I'd say probably an hour. If you have all your tools and supplies and everything. So I think they want at the dealership $170 to replace the pads. So you're basically saving $100 in labor, plus you're getting a lifetime warranty on the pads, which the dealership doesn't give you. Actually, we can go back out like this. So you're saving about $100 doing it yourself. We should be good. Now I'm just gonna double check everything. All right, wipe everything clean, and it looks good. Now we can put back on our tire, lug nuts, and we're good to go. You did see I extended this out whenever I tightened these to just make sure it had a good little amount of torque there. And we'll put our tire on, our lug nuts, and move over to the passenger side. Going to jack up. There's a little bolt you'll see, and we're gonna jack up right. There's two little notches, and we want to be basically centered with that. Rotor looks okay. Feels okay. Actually, I really don't even need to move the wheel. I can work with it like this. Actually, probably be easier for everyone to see. You know, it's funny that never fails that whenever you have to do something that's in multiples like this, the first one will always go really easy, and the second one is always the pain. So the first one goes hard, and then the second one's real easy. Or sometimes you have my luck and they both are a pain. And again, we're loosening our bolts, and this is 14 millimeter. All right, those came out pretty simple, and they look pretty dry. One thing I would like to mention that I didn't mention on the other side, you'll want to take note that these look different, the top and the bottom, and I didn't realize that. So this is the top, just straight bolt, and the one that goes on the bottom has these little bearings on there, these little spinning bearings. So I might want to double check that other side and make sure that I put them in the correct order. So top is straight, bottom has the bearings. All right, now go ahead and slide this off there. All right, we'll rest her right there, and those rubber covers seem to be okay. They're not falling off like the other ones were, so we can leave those in place. Now let's go ahead and get our bucket here. place in case we start dropping stuff, and we got our grease in here. Okay, so let's take this one off first. Found it easy if you kind of lift one of these up, it'll let you maneuver it a little better. But it's just, there we go. See if you pull that out. It helps a little bit. There we go. Once you get one side out, the other one just usually pops out. But remember, you got those little nipples back there. So that's what becomes the problem. You kind of got to lift and pull. All right, so there's the front pad. And remember, what are we going to do? We're going to move that piston back. And whenever I got in the car just now and hit the brakes, they went to the floor, and that's normal, because whenever we're pushing this back, that causes that to happen. And just pump the brakes a couple of times and you'll refill the system with fluid, because it's all hydraulic type systems. And you should be good. So let's rest this puppy here, and this back one just pulls out, or it's supposed to pull out. There we go. All right. And we got our clips here that we're going to replace. Let's see what these ones look like. Yeah, they're pretty funky. They're discolored. You can tell they've been under temperature. So that is a good thing that we replaced those. Alright. And remember, those just snap right in. And we'll take this top one off. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's a little rusted, been under some high temperatures, a lot of black, it's bent. So now let's clean this up a little bit first. Get our grease that we were using. Trying to get any debris or, and trust me, there's water and everything else hitting this, so we're just doing this for preventative and make ourselves feel better, I guess. Now here's our back pad, and go ahead and put some nice little coat of grease on these tabs. And this ain't nothing special, it's just high temperature grease. There we go. All right. And it was like this. And I had a little grease on my hands when I touched that, so get that off of there. Now we'll move on to the front. Which is just plug and play. Remember your notches. And if you kind of go in at an angle and you use this shape here, you'll see it kind of slopes down. If you use that to help you spread that apart, it will make things worlds easier. And see, you just kind of push it on and it starts spreading it, and we get it into place. And I had it in right. There we go. Being finicky. Locked into place. No gaps. Nice and solid all the way around. Alright. And this puppy's ready to go back on. Literally, what did that take? Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes? You could probably do, telling you can do this in under an hour on both sides. Alright. So, take our grease here, and remember our bolt with the rollers on it goes on the bottom, so we'll do that one first. And the bolt, just straight without the rollers, that goes in the top. Just cleaning the grease. It's overflowing as I go. Alright. Get that one. This one. We should be able to get it tight by hand, and then we'll use our socket to tighten it down all the way. Alright, get all the excess grease.
now, reverse this and this one has the torque that you want. Alright, white grease, and finished. All we gotta do is put our tire back on and lug nuts, and we're good. We'll check that other side for the bolt real quick. All I gotta do is pop the tire off and take one of the bolts out, and we'll see if we got it in there properly. All right, so